Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing out there? You got IG on today. Make sure this camera is right. I don't know, looks a little crooked. Okay, that's better. How you guys doing out there today? All right, this is a beautiful, sunny, blue skies, white clouds Tuesday afternoon here in sunny California. I hope everybody is having a wonderful time wherever you are, whatever coast you're on. I don't know how the weather is doing on the East Coast, but hopefully you guys are doing fine. Hey, RG. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for jumping in here. All right. We're telling your followers that you are on. Okay, so we're live on IG, live on Facebook, guys. Jumping in here. Hit like and share on this video. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. And what we're going to talk about today is something that I get questions on all of the time, over and over, every day, all day long. And I think a lot of people are still having a little bit of confusion understanding what type of business forms they need to be filing. So, hey, Laverne Smith, good afternoon, sis. How are you? Thanks for jumping in here. All right, hit like and share on this video, guys. Get your folks on board. Everybody has this question. Everybody can use the answer to this. I mean, I'm constantly explaining, and I don't know, I think sometimes if you are not in the moment, a lot of times people don't retain the answers to these questions, and it is what kind of business forms you need to file if you form an LLC. So that's what we want to talk about today. I want to make sure that everybody gets this clear because, again, like I said, people are still confused. And what it is that a lot of folks since COVID, I mean, and even before, of course, COVID just didn't do it. But during the process of being out of work, a lot of people formed their own business, and everyone, a lot of people have formed an LLC. And because that was one of the most common thing, everyone is like form an LLC, form an LLC, form an LLC. And it sounded like it was just the smartest thing to do. So some people have just gone ahead and formed an LLC and, without getting a lot of explanation on what it is forming an LLC, what are the tax implications, and how are they going to be able to operate as far as running an LLC and what you need to file. Now, so a lot of people went ahead and formed LLCs. And so I want to talk about the different type of LLCs and the different type of tax forms that's affected based on how your business is structured, based on how your LLC is structured, based on how many people is in an LLC, and what it is that you can do if you want to change that structure, because you're not stuck, right? I just want everybody to know this. And I usually let people notice if you have formed an LLC, guys, you're not stuck within that business structure. You can change it. I get this question all the time. Can you change it? Yes, you can change that business structure if you like. So, and then of course you wouldn't know if there's a need to do it, of course, unless you really know the tax implication. You need to know how it functions and how to operate it as a business, right? So we want to talk about 3 different points today. The LLC, which is the most common of the business types that a lot of people form, because most people that were self-employed, they wanted to form something else that will separate them from their personal, from their business. And forming an LLC seems to be the most appropriate thing because, again, it was the most common thing that everyone was talking about. So I have a lot of people who have formed LLCs. So what I want to talk about today, guys, jumping in here to let you know how those LLCs are taxed, so that if you need to make a shift, if you need to change your business structure, you can go ahead and get that done now, right? Because it is tax season, so we want to talk about this. So the first LLC type, right? There's several types of LLCs. So the first type of LLC that almost everybody formed last year is what is called a single member LLC. Single member means there's only one person in this business. There's just you. You are in your personal business, and someone say you need to incorporate it. You need to set up a business structure. You need to do this. You need to file an LLC, and you need to do that. So everyone that was a single sole proprietor, most people went on and formed an LLC, right? So that is called a single member LLC because you're the only person in that LLC. So nothing is wrong with that. It's great. It's awesome. Once you form the LLC, it does one beautiful thing. It gives you a liability protection in your business, right? So you're protected from liability. Now, of course, no one thinks about the tax implication, right? Normally, they'll tell you it's protect you from the liability from anyone suing you. However, no one really discusses the tax implication of a single member LLC. So today I want you guys to understand, when you are a single member LLC, your taxes for the federal government, for the IRS, is filed with your personal tax return. So the federal government do not recognize a single member LLC as a separate entity. They see it as a sole proprietor, and you are filing those taxes on a Schedule C form, which is a part of your personal income taxes. Now, this confuses a lot of people because they're constantly saying, what about my business? Where is my business file? Where's my business taxes? So they're always asking for their business taxes. And I said, it's on your personal taxes. It's on your Schedule C. That's where your single member LLC tax return for the IRS is filed. It's the same as a sole proprietor. No different from a sole proprietor when you're a single member LLC, okay? Hey, Lorna, thanks for jumping in here. All right. Hey, Angelina, thanks for jumping in here, guys. Thank you for joining in. Hit like and share. So your single member LLC is on your personal taxes. It's on your Schedule C, just like a sole proprietor for the IRS purposes. For state purposes, especially if you're in the state of California, for the state purposes, you will file a LLC tax return with the state of California, right? So, or wherever state you're in, you have to file some documentation separately for your LLC with the state. You're having that state protection, the liability protection, so you are organized under the state umbrella. So that's the reason why you have to file some documents with the state that you're in. And separately, there was tax returns that are filed separately from your personal, only for the state, all right? So I want everybody to understand what happens with the single member LLC. Again, I said this is a common question. People are so confused, like, where's my business taxes? It's within your personal taxes, and it's on your form Schedule C within your personal 1040 tax return. That's where you file a single member LLC for the IRS, all right? So let's move on to the second point today, guys. Second point today, hit like and share on this video. Like I said, so tons of people formed these LLCs and they don't know what kind of taxes form to file, and they're still confused when I explain it to them, okay? So the second point, if you formed an LLC and there's more than one person involved, it is called a multi-member LLC, right? So even if there's one person or any number of people involved, right? It's a multi-member LLC. Now, for IRS tax purposes, you will be filing a partnership tax return, a Form 1065, which is the partnership tax return. So the IRS now sees a multi-member LLC as a partnership. There's more than one person involved, so you guys are partners, so you file a Form 1065, which is a partnership tax return. So now you have a separate tax return for the IRS that's separate from your personal. Okay, so if you have a multi-member LLC, more than one person involved, you will file a partnership tax return. And what this does is it allows the partnership to file a return, and then the profit and the losses from the partnership, each member or each partner that's within that business gets a Form K-1, which shows how much money you made or how much money you lost in the partnership, right? So just follow this. The partnership will file a tax return, and each member of that partnership will get a Form K-1 that will show how much money you made or how much money you lost. And then each partner will take that K-1 and file that K-1 form with their personal tax return. So now what you have is you have a business tax file with the federal government. You have a business tax file with whatever state that accepts the business taxes. And then you have your personal taxes filed with the state and federal. So now you have 4 returns, right? So if you have a multi-member LLC, now it becomes 4 returns because you file a separate LLC return, partnership return with the federal government, all right? So that's the second point today, guys. If you have the multi-member LLC, you as a partner will get a K-1, and in your personal return, you report what the profit or the loss. That goes in the form Schedule E on your personal return, no longer Schedule C, or Schedule E on your personal return. However, you are now filing a business return with the federal, and you're filing a personal return with the federal as well. All right, so that's the multi-member LLC. I don't want to get this any more complicated. I just wanted to, hopefully you guys can differentiate between the two, once we discuss this. All right. So, hey, Sylvia, thanks for jumping in. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love all the love signs. All right, guys. So let's move right along into our third point today. So I get this again all the time. A lot of my clients that are coming, especially a lot of new clients who are just newly formed these LLC. And again, like I said, during 2020 and 2021, a lot of self-employed folks formed LLCs, right? And so they feel like because they form an LLC, and if they don't feel like it was the right business structure, sometimes they feel like, okay, well, what do I need to do now? Because I've already formed this LLC. What should I do? And do I need to remain as an LLC? So my third point today, guys, no, you're not stuck as operating as an LLC. You can elect to be treated as a corporation by the federal government. So if you have a single member LLC and the federal government doesn't see it as a separate entity because it still see you as a sole proprietor, you can take that LLC and you can file an election, okay, a form that asks the federal government to treat you as a corporation. I want to be a whole separate entity from my business. I don't want it on my personal taxes. So you will ask to be treated, a Form 8832, which asks the federal government to treat you as a corporation. So technically, you are changing the way the tax structure is from your LLC to a corporation, right? So you're not just stuck with having this LLC if it doesn't feel like it's the right tax structure, right? All right, so you can ask to be treated as a corporation for federal tax purposes. And then you can also ask to be treated as a regular C corporation, or you can change to a regular to an S corporation. So that's the difference between having an LLC as a single member and then either changing it to a corporation, a C corporation, or S corporation, which now you can file a business return with the federal government, separate from your personal. Now, a lot of us get into we get into business and we want to separate the business from our personal. Okay, but when you have a single member LLC, you're not doing this for federal tax purposes. It is still one and the same. So when I ask my clients the question, I said, well, do you want your business totally separate from you? How do you want that structure to happen? They said, no, I don't want it to be together. I want it totally separate. I want it to file its own taxes. So what we will then do again is elect to be treated as a corporation, either a C corporation or an S corporation, right? So quickly, let me just explain the difference between the C corporation and S corporation without making this too complicated. A C corporation, guys, pays its own taxes. So if there's a profit in the C corporation, the corporation pays the taxes. If there's a profit in the S corporation now, that profit is then distributed to each partner on what is called a Form K-1, just like the partnership. And then each partner then reports that profit on their personal tax return. Okay, so that's the difference between those two. So some people are confused again. Why do I stay as a C corporation, or why should I do an S corporation? The C corporation pays its own taxes. Some people call it double taxation because once the C corporation pays taxes, when you pull the money out, you pay again. But the S corporation is a pass-through entity like a partnership, and the profit comes to you as a partner on a Form K-1. That's the form number. And then that monies are then reported on your personal tax return, and you as the partner pay taxes, not the S corporation. S corporation pays no taxes, like a partnership pays no taxes. The partners pays the taxes on the profits. All right, that's the difference between those two. Hey, Darla Palacio, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So as not to make that any more complicated, guys, that's as far as I want to take that. Hopefully you guys get the understanding of the difference between these LLCs. I want to go back and recap. Guys, hit like and share. This information is just so vital because everyone is still so confused about what forms do I need to file for my business. And once you kind of get this, squared away in your head, then I think people are understanding the process. So when they get their personal taxes or someone asks them for their business return, they know the difference between the two, right? You're running a business, you need to know these things. All right, so let's recap that, guys. What tax form do I need to file for my business, my LLC business? The first point here is if you are a single member, you're the only one in your LLC. You formed this LLC, nobody else is in it, just your name is on this form. you will file for the IRS a personal return. It's going to be on your Schedule C, and it's no different from the way you operated or file your taxes as an individual sole proprietor. You will file an LLC return though with your state, okay? So technically you're filing like 3 returns, right? State and LLC, and then your personal business, personal taxes, and your state taxes, 3 taxes. All right. So that's number 1 point. The second point is if you are a multi-member LLC, there's more than 1 person involved, right? Now you have what the IRS says is a partnership. So you will file a partnership return if there's more than 1 person involved in your LLC. It's multi-member, so you will file a partnership return, which is a Form 1065. So the partnership will show how much money it makes, how much money it spends. At the bottom, the profit will then get split and divided up into each partner, and you will get a Form K-1 to show how much profit or how much losses, if there's any losses, the business made, and then you will then take that form and file it with your personal taxes, right? So any of you guys that are involved in an LLC or a partnership, a multi-member LLC, which files a partnership return, before you do your personal taxes, make sure you look for that K-1. Remember this form, because I have so many clients have to go back and ask for it. Make sure that you ask the person that does the partnership return or who's in control of that, where is my K-1 for my personal taxes? You cannot file your personal tax return unless you get your K-1 from any partnership that you're involved with, okay? So you cannot file your personal taxes without it. All right. Thanks for jumping on over here. All right, in the IG land. And then the third point today, guys, is the C Corp or S Corp, right? So the reason for this third point, if you formed an LLC, you have a single member LLC, which again, the IRS doesn't see as a separate business, and or you have a partnership. But if you feel from learning all of the different ins and outs of this different types of business structure that you want to change this LLC into a corporation, you can. There is a form that you can elect to be treated as a corporation with the federal government. There's a Form 8832 that you fill out. You send it into the federal government, say, hey, look, I formed an LLC, but I want to be treated as a C corporation. And then after that, you can be asked to be treated as an S corporation, because for tax purposes, I want to be filing some different type of tax form. So I want to be treated as a corporation. You fill that form out, send it to the federal government. They will send you back a letter and say, yeah, you're now an S corporation or a C corporation. Perfect. And this way, you can then file a Form 1120 for C corporation or 1120S for an S corporation. And on the S corporation, guys, again, it's a pass-through entity. You will get a K-1, just like the partnership, that you must put in with your personal return when you're filing those returns. All right. Hey, I'm Melissa Stephen jumping on over here as well. Hey, Anthony Brown Star Record and Gift Shop. How are you doing? Brown Star on Crenshaw Boulevard. That's right. You guys go visit him. Okay. He has a lot of good stuff over there on Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, guys. Brown Star Entertainment. Okay, good. Thanks for jumping in here. So, guys, that's the third point today. If you don't like your LLC and you don't want to be treated as an individual entity for the federal purposes and a single member, you can elect to be treated as a corporation, file a separate tax return, and we could get further into what those tax implications are. But for the most part, based on where you want your business to go, how you want your business to grow, how large you want it to be, if you want to bring in shareholders, all the stuff you may want to have that corporate structure, right? So we could talk about that further. With that said, I don't want to complicate the matter any further. I just want to make sure that you guys understand at least the difference between these LLCs, because so many people have formed them in the last 2 years. And are still doing so, all right? Because I still get clients all day long and questions every single week. I'm speaking to someone on which type of business structure should they have, and should they maintain their LLC, or should they shut it down and start a new corporation all over again? So you don't have to do that. You can keep your LLC and you can just change the business structure, right? So I think that will wrap it up today. I don't want to make this any more complicated. We'll be back here on Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. I'm always trying to figure out what these days are. This is flying so fast. This Thursday, we're going to talk about 3 common types of income. So very importantly, guys, 3 common types of income we want to talk about on Thursday, because a lot of people are also confusing income. Sometimes they get other type of benefits or other type of monies, disability, different things that are not taxable income. And some people are still calling me and asking me, should they be filing taxes, Social Security, disability, maybe settlement, whatever it is. So people are always still confused about that. So that's why I'm constantly talking about this stuff, because if you understand the process, you understand your tax situation, and you understand the different types of income and what you should report and not report, it makes your life so much easier, right? But if any of this is too much for you, you guys can give us a call here at PROBY'S Tax and Accounting at 323-290-9034. Or visit our website at PROBY'stax.com. You guys need any type of free consultation, we still do 15 minutes free consultation. Make sure that you get on there. You can book an appointment on our calendar. If you need to get your taxes done, of course, we do taxes in every state. Again, I had that question that we do taxes in every state, even out of the country. If you guys want to get your taxes done, everything is done by automation. You can go online, fill out on our website, secure website, upload documents. Everything is DocuSign, e-sign, direct deposit, and you can do it from the comfort of your own home or office. Thanks for explaining the difference in entities. All right, Margie, thank you for listening to. This is so important. Again, like I said, it's going to benefit a lot of folks, because I find that once someone comes in to our office, and one of the things we just pride ourselves at PROBY'S is to at least allow you to understand your taxes, understand your personal and your business taxes, understand the difference between the two. And I mean, so many people are so pleased with this process. We could just fill out your taxes and give it to you and that's it, but that's not what we do here at PROBY'S, right? Right, Margie? That is not what we do here. We want to make sure that you understand the process, make sure you learn this stuff, because you can be a lot more successful and make more money and become a lot more wealthier if you do understand the process, especially taxes, which is a great part of your income. All right, guys. So with that said, I am up out of here. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday afternoon. And I would like to see you guys back here on Thursday. Hit like and share this with your friend. Invite some folks to get on here. Hey, Eugenia, thank you for jumping in here. Eugenia Dunlap. All right. Margie said that's right. Okay, guys. So I'll see you guys back here on Thursday afternoon. With that said, I'd like for you guys to take care of each other and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.